your host.
And I'm Anna, your co-host. Thanks for joining us today.
If you've been learning English for a while, chances are you've had this moment you're watching a movie. You understand almost everything. But when it's your turn to speak, nothing comes out.
Exactly. You get the words, you get the meaning, but your mouth just freezes. It's like your brain is saying, I understand, but I can't speak. Exactly. You get the words, you get the meaning, but your mouth just freezes. It's like your brain is saying, I understand, but I can't speak.
Today's episode is all about why that happens, and more importantly, what you can do about it.
This is something so many learners go through, so if you're nodding right now thinking, yes, that's me, you are not alone.
We'll break it down together. Why your brain understands English but struggles when it's time to talk. What's actually stopping you, and how to move past that block.
By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand the problem, you'll have real tools and tips to start speaking more confidently.
So grab a cup of coffee, relax, and let's dive into today's topic. I can understand, but I can't speak.
All right, so let's paint a picture. Imagine this, you're sitting with a group of friends or classmates. They're all speaking in English. You're listening, and honestly, you understand what they're saying.
You even laugh at the right moments. You nod. You follow the conversation. But then someone turns to you and asks, "What do you think?" And suddenly,
Blank. Your mind goes empty. You want to say something, but your mouth just doesn't cooperate. You think, I know the words. Why can't I speak?
it's frustrating, right? And it can even be embarrassing. You know you've studied hard, you've watched English videos, listened to podcasts, you might even read books in English.
But when it's time to join the conversation, it's like the words are stuck somewhere between your brain and your mouth.
Exactly. And here's the thing. This situation is extremely common. If this has ever happened to you, you are definitely not alone.
We hear this from learners all the time. I can understand movies, podcasts, and even native speakers, but I just can't speak.
If that sounds like you, stick around because we're going to explore why this happens and what you can do to change it.
And just to reassure you, we've both seen so many learners overcome this exact problem. It's not permanent. It just means your speaking muscle needs a bit more attention.
Speaking is a skill. Like playing the piano or learning to ride a bike, it takes the right kind of practice.
So, let's break it down. What's really going on when you understand but can't speak?
All right, Anna, let's really get into it. Why do so many English learners understand a lot, but still struggle to speak?
Great question. And the first thing to know is that understanding and speaking are two different skills. You can be really good at one and still struggle with the other.
Right. Listening is what we call a passive skill. It means you're receiving information. You're listening to words, understanding meanings, recognizing phrases.
But speaking? That's an active skill. You have to create language. You have to think of the words, build the sentence, and then say it all in real time.
It's like the difference between watching someone cook and actually cooking the dish yourself. Watching gives you knowledge, but doing it takes practice.
Exactly. And here's another big reason people struggle. They're afraid of making mistakes. That fear becomes a wall. You want to speak, but you're scared people will judge your grammar or accent.
Yup. It's like you're editing yourself in your head before you even say a word. You think, is this the right tense? Will they laugh? What if I sound stupid? So you say nothing.
And let's not forget, most learners focus heavily on reading and listening during their studies, but they don't get enough speaking practice. So that skill just doesn't grow.
Here's another thing. A lot of people still think in their native language first, and then try to translate into English. That creates a delay. Your brain's working double time, and that slows everything down.
And then, while you're busy translating, the conversation has already moved on. That can make you feel left behind or even embarrassed.
So to recap, here are the main reasons. 1. Listening and speaking are different skills. 2. Speaking requires active practice. 3. Fear of mistakes holds people back. 4. Most learners don't speak enough. 5. Thinking in your first language slows you down.
And once you understand these reasons, it becomes a lot easier to fix them. You're not bad at English, you just need to train the right part of your brain.
Exactly. And coming up next, we're going to bust some common myths that make this even harder for learners' myths that might be keeping you silent without you even realizing. Okay, Anna, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the podcast, myth busting. Let's tackle the big misunderstandings that stop people from speaking English confidently.
Let's do it. Myth number 1. You need perfect grammar before you can speak.
Ah, yes, the perfection trap. Look, native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time. Communication is what matters most, not perfection.
Exactly. If you wait until your grammar is perfect, you'll never speak. It's okay to say things a little wrong as long as you're understood.
Totally. Myth number 2. If you listen a lot, speaking will come naturally.
Oof, this one's tricky. Listening is important, yes, but listening alone won't build your speaking muscle.
Think of it like watching fitness videos on YouTube. You might learn the moves, but if you don't actually exercise, you won't get stronger.
Exactly. You've got to speak to get better at speaking. Passive input isn't enough.
All right, myth number 3. I'm too shy or too old to learn speaking.
Nope. Shyness is normal, and age is not a barrier. We've worked with learners in their 60s and even 70s who became confident speakers.
Shyness can be managed. Start small talk to yourself. Speak in front of the mirror. Join low-pressure language groups online.
And remember, you don't need to be outgoing to speak English. You just need courage to try.
Exactly. So if any of those myths were hiding in your mind, it's time to let them go.
Yes, and coming up next, we'll share practical strategies to help you move from understanding to speaking with confidence.
All right. Now that we know why people can understand English but still can't speak it, and we've busted some dangerous myths, it's time to talk solutions.
This is where things get exciting, because you can overcome this. You just need to take the right steps, consistently.
Let's start with one of the most powerful methods I know. Start speaking from day one.
Yes, don't wait until you're ready. That moment never comes. Speak with the English you have, even if it's just simple sentences.
You can say things like, I go store now, or I like music. It doesn't need to be perfect. The goal is to get used to using English with your mouth, not just in your head.
And that leads us to the second tip. Use the shadowing technique.
This one's a game changer. Shadowing means listening to native speakers and repeating what they say right after mimicking their tone, rhythm, and pronunciation.
It trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain all at once. You're not just learning what to say, you're learning how to say it naturally.
Try it with YouTube videos, podcasts, or even movie scenes. Pause, repeat, copy.
And here's another powerful tip. Talk to yourself in English.
Yes, people think it's weird, but it's actually one of the best ways to practice when you're alone.
Talk about your day. Describe what you're doing. I'm making tea. I'm going to work. I feel tired today. You'll get more fluent just by hearing yourself speak.
And when you're ready to take it further, find a speaking partner.
Language exchange apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Speaky are great for that, or you can find conversation groups online, even on Facebook or Reddit.
And remember, it's not about finding someone who corrects every mistake. It's about practicing and building confidence.
Exactly. And speaking of mistakes, don't be afraid to make them.
Yes, every mistake is a step forward. If you say something wrong and someone corrects you, that's a free lesson. Don't run from mistakes, collect them.
Here's another key strategy. Think in English.
This one takes time, but it's powerful. Instead of thinking ¿cómo se dice esto en inglés?, start forming ideas directly in English.
Begin with small things. Where is my phone? I need water. What time is it? Train your brain to use English first.
And for learners who like structure, use speaking-focused apps. Apps like Elsa Speak Speakly or Cake are designed to get you talking out loud and improve pronunciation.
And finally, be consistent, not perfect. You don't need to study for hours every day. Even 10 to 15 minutes of focused speaking practice can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Consistency is what builds fluency, not cramming or chasing perfection.
So let's do a quick recap of all the tools. 1. Start speaking from day 1. 2. Shadow native speakers. 3. Talk to yourself. 4. Find a speaking partner. 5. Accept mistakes. 6. Think in English. 7. Use speaking apps. 8. Be consistent.
Pick 2 or 3 of these and start today. You'll be amazed at how fast your speaking improves once you actually start speaking.
Coming up next, we'll talk about mindset because confidence is just as important. Okay, so we've shared a lot of great techniques, but let's be honest, none of them work if you're too afraid or too shy to even try.
So true. Fear is the invisible wall that stops so many learners from speaking even when they know the words.
And that fear usually comes from one place, being afraid to make mistakes, or feeling embarrassed about your accent or grammar.
Let me tell you something I tell all my students. Every confident speaker you've ever heard made 1,000 mistakes before they got there.
Yes, mistakes are not signs of failure, they're proof that you're trying. No one ever became fluent without sounding awkward first.
Think about kids learning their first language. They say crazy, funny, wrong things all the time. And we don't correct them harshly, we celebrate them.
Exactly. So why don't we do that for ourselves as adults? Why not give yourself permission to be a beginner?
And here's something powerful to remember. Most people aren't judging you. In fact, they admire you for trying to speak their language.
That's true. People don't expect perfect English. They just want to understand you, and they're often impressed that you're speaking another language at all.
So instead of focusing on what could go wrong, ask yourself, what could go right?
You could make a new friend, get a new job, understand a new culture. All of that is possible when you speak even imperfectly.
So take the pressure off. Be kind to yourself. And remember, confidence doesn't come before you speak. It comes from speaking, little by little.
We believe in you. You've got this.
And next up, we've got a quick challenge to help you take action today. All right, it's time for your challenge of the day because listening is great, but doing is what really creates change.
Here it is. Question mark. Record yourself speaking English for 60 seconds. Talk about anything: your morning routine, your favorite food, your weekend plans.
Don't worry about mistakes. Don't stop to correct yourself. Just speak freely, like you're talking to a friend.
Then, if you're feeling brave, listen to the recording. Celebrate what you did well and notice what you can improve next time.
And if you do this every day for 1 week, you'll be shocked at how much more confident you feel.
We'd love to hear how it goes. Tag us or share your progress on social media using the hashtag EnglishSpeakingChallenge.
Go for it. You've got nothing to lose and fluency to gain.
All right, let's wrap things up. Today we talked about why so many learners understand English but struggle to speak it, and more importantly, what you can do about it.
We busted the myths, gave you real solutions, and reminded you that speaking is a skill, not a talent. Anyone can improve with the right mindset and consistent practice.
So remember, speak from day one. Don't fear mistakes, and train your brain to use English, not just understand it.
And most of all, believe in yourself. You're not stuck. You're just getting started.
Thanks for joining us on the English Learning Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.
Keep speaking, keep growing, and take that challenge.
Thanks for listening to the English Learning Podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps more learners find us.
And share this episode with a friend who's learning English too. You never know who needs that extra boost of confidence.
We'll be back soon with more tips, tools, and real talk to help you speak English with ease.
Until then, keep practicing, stay curious, and speak bravely. Bye for now.